Good morning, and welcome to the CCG Hour. Come on now, let's do this thing together. It is a great day to be alive. Well, it is really a great day to be alive. Oh, I'm all excited this morning. Anytime I have a new guest and they just turned my good friend, yeah, I'm usually excited, yeah. So the camera is not on her yet, I know that. So let's just talk a little bit about her just before we show you who I'm talking about. Some of you, well, a lot of you actually may not know this person, so I'm giving you a little hype before we go. But I did give a little sneak preview last week. I did say that I was going to have a guest on the program. For many persons, they'll be like, okay, they have that for priests now in terms of the gender. Yeah, so we're going to go there. I have with me Miss Cuffy. I'm saying Miss for now, right? I'm saying Miss for she doesn't mind. Because I'm like, what do I call her? I nearly call her Father Cuffy. So here she is. It is really a pleasure to have you. I think I give them enough suspense.
Yes. And good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure being here.
It is a pleasure having you. You know, I just looked at something. We have almost the same smile and features. For real, look at that.
Well.
In truth, yeah. So maybe I got more than a friend. I think I have a sister.
You have a sister, yes, and that's great.
I think we actually could pass for sisters.
Yes,
like
yes.
Literally, yeah. If we walk down the street together,
sisters.
People will be like, hey, she have a sister?
Yes.
And we'll just say, sure.
Why not?
We won't be like, we sisters in the Lord.
Of
Definitely.
course,
Yeah,
we
but
are.
for real, we have similar features, so
Yes,
that's a good thing.
yes.
I'm in good company.
Oh, man. Amen.
No, it's really good to have you. Thank you so much for consenting to be here.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yes. Well, we have to, although we're not really getting yet into the interview, but for the purpose of the interview, I need to know, what do I call you in terms of title? Because I could say Sister Cuffy. But then I'm thinking, nah. All right, and I certainly cannot say Father Cuffy. I have a feeling some people
Well,
might have
mind
said
you,
that before.
some persons have been calling me Father Cuffy, but the good title, the best title will be Reverend Cuffy. Yes, I've had persons call me Father. I mean, they jump from father, not even mother.
I know,
Jump
right?
straight to the father.
Because I'm thinking, when you think of it, it's like, okay, So without even thinking how to call you, the first thing that comes to mind, I'm thinking, is Father.
Is Father.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's what a priest is, Father. So they'll jump to Father. But I prefer the title Reverend.
Reverend. How have you handled that, though? The father part,
Well, I just laugh with it. I just go with it. Because it's fairly new.
Yes.
So I do excuse persons for that because it is fairly new. So I go with it. If you call me Father, I answer. Because I know you're actually referring to the title.
Yeah, definitely.
And not me.
Yes. But it certainly could be very humorous because can you imagine someone introducing you, not even thinking, and then you show up?
Yes. You're like, okay. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Right. So definitely. So let me start over. So I have with me Reverend Cuffy from the Anglican Church, and today we're gonna just be getting to know you.
Yes.
I'm thinking that this is not going to be your last program.
I'm hoping it won't be.
I don't think so.
I'm hoping it won't be.
Hardly ever.
Okay.
Have I seen anyone who has come on this program
just once
and had a good time end up coming only once?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have not. I haven't. I mean, which is like, I think it's a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So as I said, I'm thinking, we'll definitely, be having you over. Oh yeah. Because we would want to know what is happening in the Catholic community.
In the Anglican.
In the Anglican. I keep. Well, of course, you know why again.
Yes.
Aye. So look at that. You'll have to keep fixing me even on this program.
No problem.
Thank you very much for understanding and being lenient. So in the Anglican community, because of course, well, you might be even new to the CCG, but of course the CCG on a whole has the various denominations, and the Anglican community has been like a staple for real in in the CCG. And what we try to do in the CCG hour is to really, share with the public, just share what is happening in our communities. Of course, when we don't have a lot of new things happening. Then, of course, we continue to bring information and just, help people in different ways. But when I heard about your compliments, Dwayne, Dwayne was like, I think you need to get, and anytime the producer begin to tell you that, to just do what you have to do.
Right. Yes.
But I was very, very pleased to have met you, and now meeting you in person, that gives me even, greater thanks. So let's get to know you. Who is Reverend Kiba Cuffy?
Okay, well, as into my name, I'm Reverend Cuffy. I'm from the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm now in Grenada. I'm now the priest in charge in the parish of St. John, with St. Mark, Black Bay, St. Mark, Victoria, Church of the Epiphany, Mount Granby.
Right, so the western
yes,
right.
I'm out there. I haven't been officially installed yet, which I'll get to later. I'll tell you the date of the installation.
All right, good.
But yes, I've been here. I've been a priest now for about 2 years. Second year. Yes, I've been, but I'm not new to Grenada. I've actually been in Grenada for about 20-some years. I've been a priest for a year. I did when I was in seminary, I did my internship at the St. George's parish, right, in St. George's. And then I became a deacon.
Right.
And I was still at St. George's.
Okay.
Then
So I could barely tell you welcome to Grenada.
Yes.
At this point, I can tell you welcome again.
Yes, I've been in St. George's under the Archdeacon Michael Marshall.
Right.
For those years, intern, and then I was sent off January to go off St. John.
So you are placed.
Yes.
You are placed at various locations.
Yes.
Right.
Placed at various locations. So although I'm from St. Vincent, let me get into that as well.
Right.
So, our diocese is called the Diocese of the Windward Islands. So our bishop, he's in charge of the Windward Islands.
And that's Bishop Friday.
Bishop, yes.
From Grenada.
Right, Reverend C. Leopold Friday. Yes, he's based in St. Vincent.
I want to make sure
he's been in Grenada for a while, yes. He was here.
I remember when I used to be a teacher at Heinze School. Well, what we say Heinze School? St. George's Anglican Senior School. I've been a teacher there for lots of years. So,
he was there.
He was there.
Yeah, so he's our bishop. So basically in the Diocese of the Windward Islands, because there are other dioceses, we have 8 dioceses in the church in the province of the West Indies. We have 8 dioceses.
Okay.
We have Barbados, Belize, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Necker, which is Northeastern Caribbean, and Aruba. We also have Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. And did I say? I think I missed out.
So then it's always not.
Yes.
The Windward Islands.
So basically, I'm in the Windward Islands. So in the Windward Islands, it's St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and Grenada.
What happened to Dominic?
I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, so those are the 3 islands, and we call them archdeaconries. So it's Archdeaconry of St. Vincent, Archdeaconry of Grenada, and Archdeaconry of St. Lucia.
Okay.
So basically, I can be sent to any of these islands. Because the bishop is in charge of the 3 archdeaconries.
So once you are in that diocese,
the Diocese of the Windward Islands.
You just serve.
Yes. So we serve. So we are sent. So I can be sent to back to St. Vincent. I can be sent to St. Lucia. I can be sent to different parts as well in Grenada as well.
Right.
We are just sent.
Well, you are doing apostolic work.
Yes.
That is really what it is. I mean, when you look in the Bible, that is what it says. The apostle is sent.
Yes.
So yeah.
To the different.
Interesting.
So that's how I came to Grenada. But before even coming into the ministry, my first degree was in tourism and travel. That was what I said my first love was. Tourism and travel. So I worked in the hospitality industry for about 10 plus years. Yes, that was what I like to do. I like to meet people, diverse backgrounds. I like to learn about people. Because that's how you...
Yes.
And then I also like to learn about the different cultures. So I love to travel. I still love to travel. I still love to travel.
So how did you manage I don't want to say jump to make it to suggest that you just jump from one to the next, you know. But I'm just saying the fact that from hospitality and tourism, and then into
Well, it started with a past priest that I had. God rest his soul, he's now dead. He put that in me first, even before I went to study tourism.
Right.
He put that in me first, that he saw that in me, to be in the ministry.
Right.
But you know, when you're young, I was younger, I can't say younger, I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
You're too young for that?
Yeah, I'm too young for that. I want to live life, which I can still do.
Of course.
Yeah, I want to. So I went off and I went into tourism. I studied, I came back. He was still behind me.
Seriously.
But then I was like, no, I need to make money. I just came back from studying. I need to go make some money as well. So I wasn't even thinking along that line. So then I went into the hotel. That's how I went to the hospitality.
Right.
So I worked in the Grenadines. Majority of my career I worked in the Grenadines. Mustique, Bequia.
Yeah. Well, you have to make money.
Right. At that point, that's what and that's what I thought would make me more happier. So I went there and I was in management in those areas. And I loved meeting people. I love to see the joy in persons, especially when you make their vacation. Because customer service for me was up there.
So you know what we will be talking about for sure. Customer service. Customer service.
Definitely.
But let's be here. Let's go ahead with
so that one was, once you see you exceed the guest expectation, that was a fulfillment.
Yes.
So in that, I enjoyed it. But then, you know, there's still some part of me was still, maybe I should. Something is missing. There's a higher purpose.
Oh, yes.
You know, when you're trying to ignore a call, but it's still there. It still chokes you. It's still, so even though I love what I do, and I was like, no, there's something else that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I actually told myself, there's a point in my life as well, if I'm going to work, I'm going, but I don't want to be there. I'm like, no, that's it, something else is. And I got to that point.
Yeah.
I did not want to be there. Although I love what I do, I was like, no, there's something else I need to be doing.
Wow.
And mind you, to me, hospitality is not far from ministry.
Not at all.
Because you have to be hospitable in the church.
Oh, well, the Bible, that's the first
to be
place that we see customer service, you know, in the Bible.
Exactly.
Here is God making it very clear. Well, of course, God through Paul, and telling Timothy, hear what? If it is that you desire to be a deacon, if it is that you have to be in ministry, you need to be hospitable.
Yes.
Like, seriously, how do we manage to have inhospitable people who say they're doing ministry? Yes. I don't get it, but anyhow.
I don't get it as
watch
well.
Watch me, I have a feeling you and I will have some wonderful times in this program.
Yes, I don't get it. I don't get it when,
you
know, you see persons and they're all so upset.
Yeah.
Like you're upset. I'm like, you're supposed to be
with the customer.
Welcoming.
With
the customers
who
are the people.
Thank you.
You have your days.
Okay, anyhow, you know what happening to us, Dekiba? Trouble taking us. Let's go back to you.
Yes.
So, we still finishing talk about how you
right. So after that, I had a priest, my archdeacon at that time in St. Vincent. He was based in Bequia. Right. So while I was in Bequia as well, he actually came to me and he's like, you're running from something. Stop running.
God,
mind you,
right there.
I never talked to him before. I was going to the church. But,
oh my God.
And he's like, stop running. You need to stop running. So I'm like,
wow.
Okay, let me think about it. Let me ready. I prayed. I prayed. And then eventually I was like, okay.
God came quite there and cornered you.
Yes.
I love it.
And he said, you can run for how long, but God will always find you.
Oh, yes. He has this way of finding people. Oh, my goodness. How did I end up? If anybody told me I would be in ministry. I mean, I always had a big mouth. So I decided, but of course, once you have a mouth, then you teach. So I went in teaching. I became a qualified teacher. I do all the teaching thing, and I love to teach it too. But I mean, I still teach. But still, it's like, well, where else do you teach? You have to teach in a school.
Exactly.
Hey, and I tell you, it just the thought. If anybody told me back then that I would be doing ministry, I'd be like, nah. That it just. I don't know that money was the thing, but certainly I wanted to live my life. I usually tell people, girl, the monk that sin, I sin.
Yes, that was me
Thank
too.
God for Jesus.
Amen. That was me too. If anybody tell me this is what, because some persons know off back, this is what they're for. But if somebody come and tell me, oh, you're going to be in ministry, you're going to be a priest. I mean, I had my grandmother tell me when I was younger, you're going to be a priest.
Seriously?
And I was laugh. Yeah, I would laugh.
Wow.
And a lady in the church, she's dead now, God bless her soul. She also would tell me that. She was like, I see you as a priest. And I'm like, no.
Seriously?
I will laugh about it.
So the call was there from the beginning.
Yeah. But I was trying to, I didn't want to do your own thing.
Of course. And I mean, for the viewers and listeners up there, let's not pretend that you doesn't want to do your own thing. As a matter of fact, you might be in whatever you might be in right now. And, well, it's not too late, As long as you have life, it's not too late to answer the call that God would have called you to. And, I mean, there is a call. There is this call that God has given to us. It might not be to be a priest or a pastor or whatever. But the point is there is this purpose, and I think that's the real thing.
That's the purpose, yes.
It's a purpose.
That was the thing. It's like I was like, no, I need to live a life of purpose. So that's literally my motto right now.
Yeah.
To live a life of purpose. What am I leaving behind? What is your legacy? So I'm like, okay, I need to do something better with my life. I need to answer the call. And I answered the call.
So you answer the call. I love that testimony. I think sometimes too, when people see people like you, they see, oh, the priest or the pastor, the whatever. That's all people see.
Yeah.
You tend to just see the caller.
Oh, yes.
Well, in my case, I don't use a caller, but the point still is once you introduce yourself, you are introduced, or if you introduce yourself with the title, whichever one wants it of this religious, designation, it's like, okay, they don't have a life.
Yeah.
They are, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like
that's the thing.
Yeah. Like a child, my daughter is teaching now, but she teaches the little ones, the kindergartens. Yeah. And she said one of them came up to her and said, because she was waiting on me to come and pick her up, and she said one of them came and said, Miss, where are you going? So she said, well, I'm going home. She said, oh no, you can't go home. Don't you stay here?
Whoa.
But I'm thinking that is a children thing that the teachers don't have a life.
Yes.
And I really believe that sadly, even as we interact with people kind of think, they don't have a life. Whatever this life is. Yes. I don't know what people really mean by don't have a life, but people actually
do have
think that.
There's that interpretation of that a priest is just there. We don't have a life. We don't listen to music. We don't.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You don't put on lipstick.
I don't put on lipstick. Cause the person they say, ooh, she was. Yeah, we are like, like in a bubble. Like.
Actually, I love your profile picture.
Thank you.
When I saw it, I was like, oh yes, I could rock with her. Because it's very modest, but then I saw the handbag. I was like, I could really walk because I'm into the handbag.
Oh yes.
A good shoes.
Yes.
And a handbag.
Oh,
I mean, come on. You need a nice handbag.
A nice one.
Yeah. That's a hint to anybody who might want to give a gift. So, all right. So you've been in Grenada, you said, about 2 years.
Yes, about 2 years.
Right. But as a priest, so when were you
I was officially ordained in 2021.
Okay, and that would have been in St. Vincent?
In St. Vincent,
right.
At the St. George's Cathedral, yeah. So
okay, so just tell us a little bit more, because as you rightly said a little earlier, especially in Grenada, the female priest is a little bit new.
It's new.
So how long? Let's do a little history on the female priest. I mean, and this is not going into any kind of debate. That's not why I'm raising it, but just for understanding.
We've had in the Anglican Church right now. We do in the Windward Islands. We do have a couple of female priests.
Okay.
Myself. We also do have a female priest in St. Lucia, and there's one in St. Vincent.
Okay.
We recently had another one in St. Vincent, but she died last year. Yes. Oh. So we basically have 4.
Right.
But fairly young ones with myself and another colleague of mine, because we went to seminary together.
Right.
So she's in St. Vincent. She will also be installed later on this month.
Right.
As well. So we both. So, but the younger ones, not a lot of younger people. We do have, so basically it's 3 of us right now,
Right.
basically in the diocese. It's still fairly new. I think maybe a couple years ago was when the first lady, female priest that we have, and she's from Barbados, but she was ordained in the Windward Islands.
Right.
She's in St. Lucia. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe a couple years ago, maybe 5-10 years ago.
So that is young.
So it's fairly new still. So, but then especially where I am now, even in Grenada now, a person's like, "You're a female priest," and then I'm like, but you're looking at me.
I've never thought of that answer.
You
I
know?
like it.
Yeah, you're looking at me though.
Yeah.
So,
But I think it's just wrapping the mind
yes,
around.
some persons still don't. Because they're accustomed to the male, and it's a tough part still, because persons are still.
I think
belief
they might see you
that
as just the deacon,
yeah,
the deaconess,
and then some
just the
persons do
deacon.
call you deacon as well.
Yeah.
Still, so
Yeah.
So it's really new. Persons, especially now I'm in Guav now, even the little children, because at the school, they'll be like, "Reverend Cuffy, you're really a priest." Yeah. Yes.
But it's just amazing how, as human beings, we have wrapped our minds around certain concepts. And the very concept that we constructed, now deconstructing the thing seems almost impossible. It's like, oh, it cannot be done. Because it's something that we constructed in the first place.
Right.
And now that we have to adjust it or just, sometimes it's just a matter of just adjusting. Sometimes it's not even that you even totally dismantling it,
No, it's
and just a little adjustment, and it's a lot. So now there's much hope. So coming into the ministry, if there is, and I'm hoping that there would be some young women who are looking even right now, what would you say to them? How do you, what's the step?
Well, just like any other field where females are going into, like engineering, or it's something that you could go into. There may be a bit of challenge with any industry that you go into.
Yes.
Especially if you're breaking any mold or any preconceived notion that persons have that female can do it.
Yeah.
Females can do it. And we do accept it in the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
We do. And it's new, but we're working on it. So
So it's just a matter of course, just making yourself known, available, coming. And
yes, because right now I'm the only one in Grenada. Right now.
So that's the best person to come and have a chat with.
I'm actually the only one right now, right here. So it's fairly new. So it's getting my foot wet and see how it is, and getting persons to know, yes, there is an industry for females. If you want to, little girls, if it is an industry you can go into as well.
I mean, the truth, and I think it not just in the Anglican community, but just generally, because a lot of the times I sit at meetings, whatever the meetings, what is of a religious nature, I go to conferences there, I have to think, and if they just say, if they say Minister Ruffin, then of course they obviously expecting somebody, first of all, bigger.
Yes.
But definitely male to show up. If, of course, they say the whole name, well, then I don't know that there are any men that I would think of who will have a name WendiAnn. But definitely, if you just use the surname, people are expecting. Even when people hear me on the, like on the radio, if I just say, Ruffin, or even if I don't say, but they hear the voice, and some might even mistake me, or they suddenly may kind of be thinking, well, at least she must be, even if it's a she must be older. So whenever people meet me, they're like, okay, then it's a little girl that look plain. I don't know. Yes, but I'm not that young.
I had that recently because I was trying to organize a funeral.
Yes.
And so after they were like, "But you're so young. Why are you here?" And they're like, they saw this little girl. They were expecting a bigger person, an older person.
How can you be? Yeah.
Yeah, they won't expect a younger person to be in ministry as a priest. Like, why? You have your whole, that's the first thing some persons do. You have your whole life ahead of you.
It's like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Now it's the perfect opportunity and the perfect time when you have all the strength, you have all the energy. You can't wait until you get older.
Because then what you're giving God then.
Exactly. you're not going to give God the best.
Yeah.
You're literally not giving him the best of yourself when you get older because you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So now it's a perfect opportunity. I have the energy, I have the strength.
And I mean, the Bible says it in any event. It says, when you young men have called you because you are, you're young and strong, come now. You know, I mean, it says men in the Bible in that context there, but the principle,
yes,
of course,
mankind.
the principle is there. Yeah.
Yes, mankind.
I will ask you the question that I'm sure some people will definitely, if they don't already, always ask you, but I'm going to ask it here. Can you get married?
Yes,
you know
we can. We can. We can get married and have children. Family life is big in the church. So we do press for the family life in the church.
But clearly you're not.
No, I'm not.
As yet.
No, I'm not.
If I don't, let me not say
everyone
as yet,
is running right now. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm thinking, I mean, with all due respect to the men, they might be like, you see me, die too much of a tall order to kill. I'm not so sure. Because and I mean, we have to be practical, you know, in the head of any individual, it's like, okay, I'm not a priest myself. So how I'm beginning
you have to come
to
correct.
to tell this, because they're not seeing the beautiful woman.
No, they're seeing the priest.
They're seeing the priest. So they're marrying the priest, their priest, and they're not, in their head, they're not even marrying a beautiful woman. That is a different,
other side,
How is that, though? For real? Have you, I mean, without going too much, and I mean, I would not do that to you, but just from a genuinely honest place, because, I mean, these are the kinds of questions and these are the kind of thoughts that will go through people and that will hinder them and say, look, you know what, I'm not even going to consider this because I can't, quote unquote, have this life. We need to deal with that. We will deal with it in another program. For real. We will really look at things like that.
But persons are intimidated in that sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not exactly looking, so it's like... But then, yes.
So
it is. And persons would be hindering, and
you could definitely see because can you imagine? I mean, I need to just throw this one out for the audience. I like thing. People are saying when you like thing too much, but anyhow, we having a fun time this morning. So can you imagine sitting in the congregation, and especially this man, because he has his intentions, you know, in his head. This is a beautiful woman, and I know she's not married, so I know I'm not sinning. So you sit down there, but you're preaching, you know, and you're doing the sacraments and you're doing your thing, and you sit down in front and now you have to go and take communion. Okay, let me behave. Poor thing. And then he has to come to you for confession. And then, because they do that in Anglican Church too, so
we don't do it that often. Yeah, we don't do it that as it's a Catholic.
So it's like, whew, how am I telling? But anyhow,
that's true. They're intimidated.
They are. But the reason we're not funning about it, for those of you who might be listening, we're not funning about this, right? I mean, I'm bringing it across in a humorous way, but it is the reality, and we cannot pretend that it doesn't, that it doesn't exist. Yeah. I remember there was a time I did a wedding. Well, I tend to go up and down in my weight based on how often I fast. And so there was this seamstress, she passed away a few years ago, but when she makes clothes for you, my goodness, it's as though she put you on the machine and sewed it. And she made, I could never forget, this beautiful blue and gold suit. She actually made it for me to do a wedding. But of course, she made it to suit that occasion. So a few months after, I wasn't that small anymore, but I had another, important occasion, so I put that on. And when I put it on, I remember somebody came and said to me, they said, Pastor, you got to put on that suit. They said that suit will not allow individuals in the congregation to pay attention to what they come for. I put on this suit.
Yeah, you don't want
and mind you, it wasn't that so ridiculous because it was properly covered all, but it's just, as I said, the way in which I'm deliberately using that. It's not a joke, but I just shared that because I really wanted persons who are listening to us to realize, no, we do have a life whatever is this life people want us to have. We have a life. It is the everyday things that the same things that you like.
Yeah, the same thing you go through. Same thing.
Yeah, and maybe that is one of the programs I believe that we need to have, because admittedly, a lot of people, maybe one of the reasons they've seen ministers on the whole as being, I don't know, these little like trophies.
You're on a pedestal
somewhere. It's because maybe in the past you only saw the minister there in the just on the pulpit or on the altar and that was it. Good morning, hello, shake your hand, and that was it.
Right.
Did not get in many people's cases, did not get the opportunity to see this person live, to see this person experience pain, experience
pain,
experience all the same feelings that everybody else experience. You know, I remember one person said to me point blank, there was an issue in the church, and I remember saying, I don't understand how you couldn't think that this would have affected me as well. And she said, no, it shouldn't affect you. And it was such a personal thing. Right. It involved several individuals. But I'm like, how do you mean, But that is the thing. I don't know that people really view individuals in the ministry.
Just see the cloth.
Yeah.
And then that's...
And then that's the end of it.
But we are humans. I'm still living. I'm still growing. I'm still getting older, just like you or anybody else.
Yeah.
So we go through the same pain.
And we'll make some mistakes.
And I
will
will
make decisions.
I definitely would make mistakes. I'm still young in it. So I would go through life. I will go through ministry making mistakes. That's part of life.
Yeah.
But then, persons do not give us that space to make the mistake.
Yeah.
We make mistakes.
That's it.
Do not get the grace to make a mistake.
And to come out of it gracefully.
Yes.
To come out of it gracefully.
So we do. It's life. We go through. We're still growing. We're still getting older. We're still going to have the aches and the pains and as we go, because we're all getting older as well. So just like any humans.
Yeah. It really, that needs to come home. That needs to come home. And I believe programs like this, where we speak the real thing. I remember chatting a little bit some time ago, maybe late last year, I think it was, with Sister Margaret, the executive director over at Newlo. Close up by you.
Yes.
And, we didn't go much in depth because, in terms of that, but I did ask her, similar questions because, again, yes, you're a nun, and in people's head, it's like, oh, she's a nun. That's the end of it.
That's it, yes.
But I mean, we had such a wonderful time just sharing again the fact that you go through. I want people, if nothing else, that people leave it. I'm not saying don't leave with anything else, but I would want you to understand that we do have a life. Reverend Cuffy has a life. It's called ministry, and it's called living to please and to serve, to please the Lord and to serve others. That is your life.
We're called to serve. So we're here to serve, but also, we do have that life as well.
Yeah. So you have to live.
To understand. In serving, we do have a life.
You do have a life. Yeah, definitely.
That aspect of it, and yes, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. It's a learning process every day.
Oh, yes, it will be.
Even everywhere you go, you learn the different people as well. So it's a learning process.
The good thing is that you love it.
Oh, yes, I do. And the thing is, because of my personality as well, I love people.
All I see is an evangelist, I'll tell you.
I love people. That's why I went into tourism, because I love people. I love reaching out to people. I love, I'm like, ministry is the same thing. You have to reach out to people to bring people to God in that sense. So,
So,
I love what I do.
It was what you were born to do. Definitely.
I guess so.
No, it is. It is definitely that. You can see
it comes naturally,
and feel the passion. It's definitely that. Okay, we've been chatting for a while, so let's take a quick break, and we are going to be back. So let's take a break.
Yes.
In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. Let's sing. Unfailing love. your grace, in the power of your name. You lift me up.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. For those of you who may have just joined the program, well, you missed a whole lot, so I cannot go back. But you can go back. If you want, you can definitely go back and visit our Facebook page, or you can just catch us on YouTube. Yeah? So that's a good thing, so we don't have to go back. I am chatting this morning with Reverend Cuffy. See, I got it right. Our newest Anglican priest in Grenada, and she is serving in St. John's. But just before we go back to her, I just want to mention, and I will say it again at the end, the CCG is hosting our second panel discussion on Thursday, next Thursday. Well, actually I can say Thursday coming, because today is Friday, yeah. So Thursday the 18th at the Presbyterian Church in St. George's. At 5:30 p.m. we have, this panel discussion is on the role of education in the future of Grenada. We had one panel discussion, it was in January. It's all part of our way of commemorating our 50th anniversary celebrations for independence, right? So those of you who are coming, please, we are inviting you actually to come. Our panelists are Sister Margaret, and of course, for those of you in the Catholic community, Sister Margaret is no stranger at all to us. We have had a slight change, because last week, if you heard me, talk about this same panel discussion, you may have remembered that I said that we had Mrs. Cecil Johnson, but we had a little bit of we had to have a change because of some unforeseen circumstances. So we were very happy to have Sister Margaret consent to come, and she, of course, will be, of course, we know that she's an educator, a very avid one, and one that is very avid as it relates to TVET, technical and vocational training. And so she'll be taking that angle most likely. And then we have Miss Franca Bernardine, who is also no stranger to education in Grenada, actually a past education minister in Grenada a few years ago. And then we have a young man who is a student, because we can't talk education without hearing what the young people have to say. Yeah. So it's 5:30, as I said, at the Presbyterian Church on Thursday, the 18th. So that's next Thursday. We really would like you all to come. We're hoping, of course, to have a recording of it as well, which we would share, most likely we would share next week, God's willing. But please, we don't want you to wait till then. Somebody might say, well, you shouldn't even tell us. Well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't even tell you, but I have to let you know what's going on. So that is what is going on the CCG front. And we really encouraging that you would come out, all right? We also, because we have 2 more panel discussions coming up after this one, most likely in June, and then the other one will be a little later on in the year, because remember, we're celebrating for the whole year. Yeah, so that's our way of contributing to the celebrations. All right, so back to Reverend Cuffy. So Reverend Cuffy, you are in St. John's, we said.
Yes, please.
What are you doing in St. John's? What are your plans? I mean, I know you can't share everything, but just especially because of your personality and so forth, I know each minister, each priest is going to come with their passion.
Well,
so,
yes.
yeah, what it is.
Well, right now we're trying to bring back the youths, bring back the younger persons in church, because we do know that, young persons, they don't really want to be in church per se. So we're trying to build back the youths. That's one of the main focus we're going to be focusing on.
Right.
Is anything to try to get back the youths into church, have them to know their Anglican identity as well, that part, and also the men. There's not, we don't have a lot of men in church.
Yep.
Yeah, and even if we do have, it's the older men. We're trying to, get some of the younger men back in church. So those will be the 2 focus right now that we're trying to.
But it would seem that focus is more than likely the same focus for maybe so many, regardless of whether, regardless of which denomination. Because I certainly have it on my end.
Yes,
we need the youth. I mean, for me, I have a young girl population generally because it's a young ministry. But we still see a smattering, It's like I usually look at men almost like salt. It's like a sprinkling
Oh,
of
yes,
men everywhere
yes,
once
yes.
it comes to the things of God. My husband usually, when we're driving along, he's usually like, Wendy, you see how much of them on the block there? And then he would begin to pray.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing, because there's not a lot, and you have some older ones that are there, but it's few and far in between.
Yeah,
so
sprinkle.
it's like two, yeah, so
Yeah.
and we do need some able-bodied ones at least to come up. We need that, because especially for the youth, if you don't have youths, especially in your church, the church is dying.
Of course.
Because then once the older one's gone, who's left? So that's a very important aspect for us to focus on.
Right,
So it's to
right.
try to get persons, but right now we're trying to get persons to come back out to church, first of all.
Good, good,
So
good.
trying to see if we could, even if we have to go on the byways and the highways to try
Well,
and
that's
get.
what we've been called to
So
do.
might have to do that.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah. It is what we've been called to do. But would you say, or maybe I shouldn't say would you say, I would ask instead, what would you say may have been, besides us just saying, oh, well, everybody they just living in sin. Okay, fine, we know that. But what do you think may have been some of the contributing factors, really and truly? I mean, you are in St. John, so you're involved.
Right.
What do you think might be the real contributing factors keeping persons away from the church? Yeah.
But there are other things there that's more focused. Some persons, I guess, in some aspect, they've lost faith in the church, and then they haven't seen like some examples. Some persons, COVID didn't help either. That's
True.
one thing I do see. COVID
Yeah.
didn't really help. Persons could just stay home right now and say, oh, we don't have to come to church. I've heard persons say that.
Yeah.
I can now watch TV. I can watch church. I don't have to come to church.
Yeah.
So I've actually heard persons say that. So, and then I guess the society in general, there's just a change where
Yeah.
when I grew up, I had to be in church. Now it's not recommended right now. Some parents will come to church and leave the children at home.
Yeah, because we're not giving them quote unquote a choice.
A choice.
Yeah, you could do
We're
what
now,
you
yeah,
want.
you
Yeah,
can
we're
do
not
what.
forcing you.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
enforced.
Yeah.
It was enforced. We had to go to
And
church,
Lincoln
and
us.
then eventually it was instilled in us
Yeah.
so that we know if we miss church this Sunday, we miss something. So that's the thing. There's not that kind of to us, I'll say Anglican identity or the reason why you're coming to church in the first place. So that teaching aspect is not there.
Yeah.
So that's the part we have to kind of
That
focus
you have
on.
to
the
focus on.
teaching
People need
aspect.
to understand
why. What's your identity? What's really, and yeah. And I think the thing is as well, the society has more to offer than sometimes than
based on how you look at it. Yeah.
their
I
perspective.
think too, people look at their spiritual needs as just that, and just this
Just a need.
remote
Just a
need.
need.
That I don't know who is supposed to really fulfill it, but apparently it's not myself.
no. But the thing is,
It's supposed to
they'll
be filled some.
yeah, they'll be doing every
somewhere.
other
Yeah.
thing, but they do know if they're in trouble.
Oh yes. No,
Pray
ma'am.
for me.
Yeah,
Come to
definitely.
church.
Yeah.
Yes.
That part we know for sure.
Yes.
But whether we like it or not, we are seeing the
decline.
chronic, and decline is becoming almost chronic.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you
chronic.
go in every, and it doesn't matter which denomination now. Because if you come, if you go to the Pentecostal church, is a few people in
Yes.
there. You go to the
Yeah,
Seventh
there's a
Adventist
decline.
church, you go to the Catholic. So it is nothing to do with. I remember actually, as I say, as I'm identifying different religious denominations, I remember even having a conversation with a Muslim friend of mine, and he said to me, we were just chatting something, and he said to me, he said they're not even coming to mosque no more. And I'm saying not to tease, but I'm just saying it is all wrong.
yes.
It's that it would appear as though there is just an internal maybe war, but definitely a spiritual war against
There is.
anything that looks remotely like God.
Yeah.
And this is not us trying to figure out who did it. That is not
No.
even about it. It's that once God's name is called, even if
There is,
there is this standoff.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
there is.
yeah.
And that's the thing. So also, so basically, we need to get it started from the home.
Yeah.
We need to have that family aspect comes in. That's important. If the family is declining, society is declining.
Okay. Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's the thing.
Definitely.
So we need to get that.
So
right.
that is a thrust. Would you be thinking possibly, and the reason I mention all of that in terms of all these, the fact that it's affecting everybody and everywhere. We can see it. It's not one denomination alone.
No.
Are you therefore open? I mean, in terms of, I don't know for sure how Anglicans, function. I know, sadly, our Caribbean way of thinking, maybe I shouldn't say Caribbean way, maybe it's a human way of thinking. But are you open to be, to work along with? Because, I mean, for example, you in St. John's.
St. John.
I might feel that I might sense that the Lord is calling me to do something, let's say, I don't know, like a marriage encounter kind of thing in St. John's. What if that my heart might be going out to St. John's, but you're there and now we're talking? Would it be, to me, I'm thinking like, hello, why not just work together? Because we're going into the community anyhow. We are trying to do the same thing. Are you open for that kind of collaboration?
It's actually good to work along with other persons as well, because your strength could be, we can feed off of each other's strength.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's quite important.
I mean, especially if we are going out there saying, and if we're going to go out there saying that, oh, we are the body of Christ, because that's what we say. You preaching Jesus, I'm preaching Jesus. And if it is that we both preaching Jesus and we're saying we're the body of Christ, then we should be one. We should be one to, I mean, we know that there would be, I'm sure, some doctrinal, differences in some ways, but what about the parts that we can agree on?
Right. What in the ways that we could, to be able to.
Okay.
I'm open to that.
But I'm glad. I'm glad
we do
about
need
that.
to get some persons back in. Get our message out there and stuff.
Definitely. Okay, we have a few minutes, so let's talk about your installation, because you did say
So my service of institution as official priest in charge in the parish is on the 25th of April at 5 p.m.
Right there.
In St. John.
That's
it's a Thursday at 5 p.m. Yes.
So is it that all are invited?
Yes, you're invited. Yes.
Okay. So what usually happens? I mean, I know it's an installation, but it's not an ordination, obviously, because that's already been done.
Yeah, the ordination is done, but it's pretty much to officially put me out there as a priest. So the service will be similar. It's pretty similar.
Okay. And then that release and that charge is given.
Yes. So I'll be handed over the parish.
And you can't say how long you're going to be there.
No, that's up to my bishop.
Yeah. Got you.
That will be up to him. He could say he's moving me tomorrow.
Yeah. Because and that is what you have committed to.
Yes, and that's what that's something we know. It's not, I can be moved anywhere at any time.
Basically. And of course that happens to that moving, even with your family, because of course we mentioned family. So even if you have, then your family will have to understand that from the get-go, this is what you are getting into.
That's what you're signing up for.
You can be called to move.
Yeah, you can be called to move. So that aspect has to be thought of.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, here what? We actually, just very few more minutes.
Oh, wow.
I know one
fast.
Oh, yes, it does. Good conversation goes by quickly.
Yes.
So, what do you have to say? What, do you think that you might want to leave with the persons? Because, as I said, we just chatted this morning. We didn't talk about anything in particular. We were just getting to know you. Yes. So, what do you want to leave with our viewers and listeners?
Well, I would just like to say, thank you for having me again, and for the viewers. Well, I am the new official priest, and I'm a female, so I'm here, and I'm open, so persons can come up to me as well. I'm a friendly person. You don't have to look at me at being up there, and yes, I'm out there. So, and I'm in Guelph, so anybody wants to say hi, and God bless to everyone as well.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much again for stopping by, and because of course. We both have the same passion for customer service.
Yes, please.
Hi. No, because I actually have been. It's something that I remember mentioning to Gloria, which is another guest that we have once a month. But definitely, it is something that is sorely lacking. Yes. Not just in Grenada, but we know it's lacking here. But it's lacking.
It's lacking.
And yes, people could go on YouTube, but apparently it doesn't. I don't know. Even if you're going on YouTube, it doesn't seem like if it get in there.
No.
So, but we definitely are
We
going
do.
to talk about it.
Customer
So
service is
that
very
is how,
important
oh
in
yeah.
all aspects. We're all customers.
Correct.
No matter what we're doing, we're all customers.
Yeah.
You know,
So I'm thinking we can definitely, come again, and we
Thank
can.
you.
I believe that is where we can really be of service to the viewers and listeners. We're giving them free customer service class.
Yeah.
It's needed. All right. So, viewers, listeners, thank you very much for staying with us this morning. God's blessings upon you. Please remember again the panel discussion next Thursday at the Presbyterian Church at 5:30. I'm thinking that during the course of the week, more than likely you're going to be reminded of it with a little flyer that will come up on the screen ever so often. We thank Dwayne for being able to do that for us. And see you next week, Friday, God's will. Be blessed and have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.
You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other, reaches